5:30.
Yep.
Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Leaders,
Here.
Schultz,
Here.
Larson,
Here.
Chapman,
Here.
Silver.
Here.
All right, you've all had a chance to read the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes or make a correction?
I'll make a motion.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, it's been moved and seconded. Okay. So now I will read the statement for the public hearing. The public hearings will be conducted pursuant to the commission's rules of procedure. We will first hear the report of the planning director on the detailed information and observations regarding the request before the commission, if not done so in writing form prior to the hearing. Next, we will take the testimony of the applicants and his or her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, I will call upon members of the audience wishing to be heard concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those opposed to it. At any time during the presentation of testimony, the members of the commission may interrupt to ask questions or to make comments on what has been said. Upon completion of all testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make a closing statement to the commission. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, I will entertain a motion for the commission to close the public hearing on the request. The commission reserves the right to ask questions of any member of the audience. However, we will not hear any unsolicited statements unless the public hearing is first reopened. Each speaker addressing the commission shall step forward to the podium and state their name and address before proceeding with their testimony or evidence. This commission shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but does reserve the right to exclude evidence or testimony that it may deem to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rule on all questions relating to the admissibility of evidence, which may be overruled by a majority of the commission. Continuances may be granted by the commission in case for good cause shown to any interested party who has entered their appearance. The commission may request a continuance of a hearing for the purpose of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for such other reasons as the commission may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state the specific reason for the continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official actions of this commission will be made at a public meeting by motion made, seconded, and a polling of the membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion or amendment thereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of this commission. Okay. With that, do we have a motion to open the public hearing for case number sub 2026-04?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. The public hearing is open, and I would ask for Mark to come forward to the podium, state your name and address, and let us know what you got going.
Mark Hanwright here on behalf of JJHP LLC, seeking permission of a preliminary plat approval for first phase of Legacy Ridge subdivision. We've been working on the site for several years. I'm assuming you guys are probably familiar with the location. It's on Pioneer Trail, just west of the Dumfries intersection. The subdivision in total will be 88 lots. Our first phase is to be 41. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay.
Size lots, average.
Ranging in size from 1.03 to 2.86, I think, in this phase.
Covenants.
Yes. Covenants
Defined
were,
it or to be.
I would say 90% of the way there, making some minor tweaks and revisions. We're still working through some stuff with the county. We've changed from our storm sewer system to a curb and gutter system, so we have to make some adjustments. no culverts or things like that to be talked about in the covenants anymore, but otherwise, I think we're pretty well there.
Utilities, you got a commitment from utilities to be brought in.
Yes, we're working with Mid-American, Black Hills. We've got regional water to the site, and then talking to Western Iowa Networks for fiber internet.
Good. That's it.
No, will there be natural gas there then, or?
Yes, with
Okay.
Black Hills Energy.
Okay.
Yep.
I see an outlot A is 15 feet wide. And
That's a community access to the Wabash Trace Nature Trail. The southern border of the property is the trace. So we're working with the Trails Association to ensure that that's all to their liking as well. But figured direct access would help, reduce congestion down there at the Meadowview Parkway access. It's already sees a good amount of cars stacking up.
yeah, 15 feet seems a little bit narrow.
15 feet?
Yeah, to get a mower on one side of the trail and the other side of the trail is. And
It's gonna be a paved trail.
Yeah,
Um, I guess I don't know what do you feel would be appropriate?
well, I know when I was advocating for trails in the city of Omaha, I would advocate for 30 feet. Partly because then everybody's backyard or fence line that is adjacent to this access piece, if there is a fence, right?
Our covenants don't allow fences.
Well, so maybe then it becomes even more important that you don't feel like you have intruders on your property quite so much, to have a
Gives a little more air.
there's just a little ease, room and grace.
Oh, I get you. Green space.
Yeah, between the edge of the pavement and somebody's private property.
Hmm.
So that's,
Yeah, I mean, not to completely counter you, but if you're physically up there and, Mark and I spent a lot of time hunting that ground and obviously he's been developing it, but the terrain up there is really gonna, I think, ease some of that concern that you have. Even at 15 feet, I mean, if you look at some of the other entrances along the Wabash, especially in that same area, I mean, the one right around the corner in Dumfries is about an 8-foot wide gravel. So this one will be a substantial improvement, really.
Yeah. It's different between, when people are living there every day and it being a farm field. I just know that that's, in my opinion, a far more reasonable ask, so that you can actually keep it open, that as time goes on, you can mow either side of the trail with a good sized mower that you might be mowing trails with, from a maintenance standpoint.
Mark, that's gonna be an easement for the trail? Or
It will be an outlot owned by the association.
is that, I mean, I'm just throwing this out. I don't know if you've thought of it yet, but would it make sense to maybe donate that to the trail and let them maintain that and take care of it? I mean, you don't have to answer now, but I'm just
Oh.
curious. It might be something.
Maybe. I think it's probably better if it's maintained by the
Oh,
association.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
I think that
thinking
they're,
out loud, so.
yeah, I would imagine that they're better resourced.
Yeah, I mean, it's 88 lot subdivision. We assumed
Yeah.
ownership by the HOA would ensure continued maintenance
Right,
of
right.
the trail access and it being kept up to a standard that was compatible with what those living in the neighborhood would want to see. That's why we're paving it concrete out of the onset, and there's a mechanism in the covenants to fund any future repairs or maintenance that's required.
It's great.
Lynn may not have a bad suggestion on that part, just because we have the situation down at Traceview, and this kind of
yeah.
goes to your point as well, right?
Yep.
I would much advocate against to go with a 15-foot strip that is there, and because Traceview lost their outlot on
Correct.
tax sale, right?
Mhm.
And now we have been
Tax
hounded
sale.
every year by somebody who now wants to try to build a house on an outlot that
Correct.
wasn't ever really designed for a house, but it's just wide enough that you could potentially situate something in there with a variance or two. But would be my only concern is just to ensure that some way that it does not ever potentially get lost on a tax sale aspect of it, which would be if you got it over to a nonprofit on it or something, but that'd be the only thing that I would say, and keep it narrow. So then that way that there is just no opportunity for it to become any way, shape or form
Well,
buildable.
yeah.
Because
Makes
that's,
sense.
Russ King's not in the audience, right?
he's not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm
No, I
familiar
don't
with the
see it,
Trace View
But yeah,
outlot.
no, that was,
15 feet would be very difficult to build on.
it would.
I mean, it is its own legal description if the HOA wanted to donate it to the trails in the future. So, I mean, we don't have a really strong vested interest in who owns it, but we were advised by our legal counsel as we created the covenants to not do it as an easement, but to make it its own parcel so as to avoid any liability potential to the lot owners. If you own the lot over which the easement traveled, someone slips or trips, and they
Yeah.
come knocking
Well,
on
there's
your
something to be said
door.
about that too, then, as far as if the trail network did own it, because they are protected on stuff like that, if there was something to happen, so, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the HOA will carry a liability policy, and there won't be a lot in that fund from an attorney's perspective. I mean, the only common elements are the trail access and the medians at the entrance to the subdivision. So there's,
Sign at the entrance or something.
yeah, we're gonna have a nice stone sign and some landscaping there. So that will be, I anticipate maybe $100 a lot annually for the HOA collections. There's not gonna be a big pot of money for someone to want to pursue.
So,
So are you paving a 10-foot trail? Or how wide is that trail on Lot A?
It's like 249 feet, right?
Well, that's the
That would
length
be the length to the property line. To be honest, I don't recall off the top of my head. Is it not shown on the diagram?
it shows some.
Yeah.
The width. The outlot is 15 feet.
In wide.
It's okay, I'll grab my phone and do some additional stuff in here.
Here, use this.
I don't-
Or use it, or right beside you.
I think I actually have some trail access specs specifically that I sent to the
Well, you're
Waters
looking
people.
at Matt, is, so, I mean, I know, I've seen like, when I heard about this earlier, that they were just not doing curbs and gutters, but now is it something that's
Urban gutter is back on.
back on?
Yep.
And why is that?
It preserves the road for a longer period of time.
Less maintenance, less cost.
So that's the whole, the initial investment then should make that road last longer. We're also then, my big push previous to it had been is that we don't have a policy for curb cuts. So we were requiring curb and gutters on these roads, but then people would come in and they would cut it out. There's not like, it's not like you go to city council, once you get a curb cut, so you can cut in a driveway. We didn't have that mechanism put into place. So that mechanism is right now being put into place. So by the time this curb and gutter gets in and gets established and the other subdivision gets done with curb and gutter, we will have a curb cut policy permit procedure down to be able to preserve those curbs. And they are, the Board of Supervisors and JJHP are working. We already have a development agreement with them for the TIF funding and things. We're adjusting that. We have to wait, and this Thursday we find out how the new TIF laws affect all those things, but
This project is getting TIF?
it is.
Yeah.
So you think with curb and gutters, it extends the life of the road?
That's what we're being told by the engineer's office, yes.
Really, I wonder how that is. To me, that would seem like it's backwards. When you get curb and gutter, it's more stuff to take care of, and the other thing, my concern is the roads department, do they even have equipment? Their equipment's set up for with stuff with
Yeah.
no curb and gutter. I mean.
So that was another point, was like it went better with their equipment. So that way they don't have to worry about running over as many mailboxes and everything. So they feel confident in that aspect of it, yes.
State of mailbox, central mailbox, I'm assuming, right?
Cluster boxes,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and that was what Andy, the request to go to storm sewer and curb and gutter came from Andy Wicks. He said, they've been having some issues in other developments that had the ditches where the roads crew couldn't easily identify where the edge of the road is, and people are complaining that their sod's getting scalped off by the blade, and so.
Backwards of what I would think, but whatever. I'm
We-
always backwards.
We engineered it with this, with
Modern
the
day
ditch, and
engineer.
we're asked by county engineer to go the other way, so we obliged.
Okay.
Sound like it.
Is that, I'm still stuck on this trail. Does the trail, actually meet, slope guidelines? It looks like there's a concentration of contour lines right at the trail.
It's probably pretty steep, right? That would be my guess.
Here it's, sorry, it's on my phone, I don't have a printed copy, but here's what was provided to me. The grading detail, by our
Yeah, probably
engineers, HGM.
I think
They
probably
picked that
right.
location in the development, one being at the top of we said we've got 3 cul-de-sacs we
You've got
could
a
come off of.
7.5% trail slope.
Is that just at the end or is that the entire 200 and?
It's 200 feet of 7.5% slope.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty steep.
It
It
is.
doesn't meet ADA guidelines.
What's ADA guidelines say?
Well, if it's over 5%, you need landing areas, flat landing areas and railings. It's considered a ramp when it's over 5%. So it needs to be less than 5% to be an ADA accessible.
Is that something that would be required to meet ADA? I would think so, but I
Or
don't
if the
know.
public, if we as a public entity, like if conservation owned it or something like that, then yeah, they
Right.
would look for those accessibility things. I would have to go look and see if it's, since the private HOA, that whether or not they have those guidelines.
4-to-1 side slopes in order to get that grade in there. That's, yeah, that's it's a little extreme.
What would it take to do that?
It's
Just tell them your requirements,
to
go
make-
back and
To make it ADA
subject to
acceptable,
that approval?
it would mean that it ends up snaking.
Right.
I don't think that applies, because it's still considered private property. I mean, even though you technically are letting people do it, it's owned by a public or private entity.
Correct. I believe you're
Oh,
correct.
so is that not open to the public? Is that intention for it not to be open to the public?
Property and let the public on it all I want, it's if you designate that this is public property, then you have to follow those guidelines, but it's not, it's gonna be owned by an HOA. And you're right, the 5% slope applies anything beyond 200 feet, up to 200 feet, you're at 8.3% slope. Just for what it's worth.
Our objective in providing one trail access was to avoid the free-for-all of everybody cutting paths through all these lots and
Right
tromping
through
through
somebody's
people's
backyard when they don't-
backyards, and just to have a uniform,
Yeah, so
organized, safe, well-maintained.
Freeze access over there around the corner. So, where the old wooden bridge used to be, now it's like a cement tunnel.
Yep.
They've recently installed a, gravel kind of pathway down to the trail there.
And it's really steep.
They're not meeting remotely close to any kind of ADA guideline, but again, it's a private trail, it's private access
Yeah.
technically.
Right.
When you use the Wabash, you're supposed to be paying dues to use that. So,
Oh.
and they do provide ADA accessibility at different points in the trail. Just because there's one halfway through doesn't mean you gotta do it all the way around.
Right.
Right, but what we're doing here is we're taking private property and providing public streets and public access ways and for a car, and we're not providing it for pedestrian use. We don't have sidewalks. Do we have sidewalks in this subdivision?
No.
country. Out there.
At
people
1
walk
acre
on the
lot.
Street.
Yeah, I know that's what they do because it's the only place they have to do it, which is why the Wabash Trace is so popular, you know, and trails in the county are very popular because there aren't sidewalks
Mhm.
on the streets. And so when I hear that the access is at 7+% and does not meet ADA, and I see that it's going to be owned by a public HOA that can put up a sign that says
Private HOA.
private HOA that says private property connecting to a public street, Wyatt Drive. And to me, that's concerning. I think it's fine if we have 10-acre lots or 40-acre lots and we don't have these things. But these are one lake, many of them are 1-acre lots. And that's developed.
Well, to me, I look at it as it gives us another access to the trail. And I mean, they could build this subdivision and not give any access, so. I don't know, that's the way I look at it. I mean, sure, maybe it's not gonna meet ADA requirements, but
Like I said, it's not public.
yeah, it's not a public, I mean, they could just say, nah. We'll just.
We're
take
in
that
the
out.
bluffs out there, you know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the topography in that area, but.
You're good to go, and you meet every requirement that would be required here.
Yep,
Private access.
Well,
Yeah,
You
I,
gotta realize too,
it's only for the,
even though it's private, they're not gonna force it either. So, I mean, obviously, people are gonna do it, but that's a risk that the HOA is gonna have to assume or want to. And I highly doubt they're gonna have a problem with it.
any subdivision in the county that is adjacent to the Wabash Trace or any other public trail that does not provide public access between the street and that trail, I think is a disservice to the public good. I think that's a minimal ask. I appreciate that it's there. I think it ought to be public. It ought to be a public right of way. And it ought to be, meet ADA guidelines. And 1 for 81 lots is, not a big ask.
I think if you
And as far-
contemplate it being a publicly owned, you know, public access, that can become a bit of a turnoff to those in the neighborhood who live on that cul-de-sac. There really would be
Oh, I get,
an obscene amount of parking, you know, between their driveways. It's intended as an amenity for the neighborhood. And I don't believe a public trail access is a requirement of us.
Trail's not a public trail. It's private. You're supposed to be paying dues when you use it. It's pay to play.
that is true.
well, there's an awful lot of public money that goes into those trails.
Any other questions for Mark?
Then
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
All right, looking for anybody that would like to speak. Am I supposed to do in favor first? In favor. Anybody in favor would like to come forward? Seeing none? Anybody opposed like to come forward? Okay, seeing none, ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is closed. And Matt, could you give us the staff recommendation?
Our recommendation would be to send forward a recommendation of approval on the preliminary plat for Legacy Ridge subdivision. It's been a long time in the county. The county's got a lot of money invested in it or invested around it already. So to have it get to this far, it's exciting, ready to get some houses up.
Okay,
Hey, my apologies. I couldn't hear you, Matt. What were you saying?
Oh, sorry, that was to make a recommendation of approval to the Board of Supervisors on Legacy Ridge subdivision, phase 1. just that we've invested, the county already has a lot of time, money is invested in the infrastructure surrounding it, and it's exciting to get to this point.
Yep. All right, any further discussion from the board?
None for me.
Yeah, I just want to kind of applaud Heartland and the county for their efforts on this project. And, you know, back when I was on the county board, I was a part of this too. This is going to bring substantial tax base to our county. And this neighborhood is going to nest very well in that countryside. These homes are going to be incredible. I think this is going to be one of the better neighborhoods in and around Council Bluffs area. So, and the fact that you worked hard to get water, regional water ran there. You've got basically the best of all the options on this place. And I just, kudos to all of you that worked on it. It's going to be incredible.
Okay. Anything from any of the rest of the board? All right. Hearing none. We have a motion by anybody?
Motion approved as is. Second.
Okay, we got a motion to approve. Do we have a second? And we have a second. All right, roll call, please.
Chapman,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Silkworth,
No.
Leaders.
Yes. Okay.
You said my name too, right? I'm a yes.
Yep, I think we heard that, yeah.
Did
Out the yes, his name.
I thought you did, but
I say Schultz?
Nope.
Schultz, yes.
I don't think so.
Oh, Schultz.
Yeah.
Yeah, both.
Sorry.
Okay, so it's been approved, and now it moves on to the Board of Supervisors. Correct, Matt?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
I do.
Okay, now, like, open public hearing for case number sub 2025-05.
You mean 2026?
Yep,
Your eyes are getting old.
yeah, you're right. 2026-05, CNA Scale Services. Oh, motion? Do we have
Make the motion to open public hearing.
And do we have a second?
I'll second it.
And we have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, the public hearing is open, and we have, who do we have here?
Name and address.
It's Keith Clausen. My personal address is 19318 Badger Avenue. Today, talking about the property on 25600 Road L34. I'm the owner and president of CNA Scales. We have two items kind of on the docket here. The first item is on that L34 property, proposing two roughly little over 2 acre lots for future single family houses on the northeast corner of that property. The second item is there's 3 existing buildings.
We'll do the first item first.
Oh,
They're separate.
okay.
Yep,
Okay.
they're separate. Thank
Alright.
you.
That's the 2025. Which is,
Yeah,
This first one is for the replatting of the property.
correct.
Which would do the
Yep.
2 acre lots on the northeast corner of the current property. And then, would create the 4.34 acre lot around the buildings. And then the residual is left there in the ag land.
Good.
Yeah, so that's those 2 single family dwelling houses. We have a covenants submitted as well for those. Shared driveway access. And we have the entrance permit in place as well.
so it's shared drive access for both of those houses.
Both lots, yeah, right on the
Is that
line.
what the county recommended?
Yes.
And then who maintains that access?
It should be shared between the 2 owners.
Written agreement, because one could say, I'm not plowing it and I'm not fixing it.
Yes, I mean, we wrote that in the covenants.
How do you enforce it?
Of course.
record.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
I have a question about lot 2. It's the northernmost.
Okay,
So some of the lot is on east of the road and some of it's west of the,
correct.
right?
Yeah.
How much is west of the road?
West of the road is like 1.8, I think, if I believe.
I am just curious how closely the western parcel meets the guidelines that this county has for 2-acre parcels.
Yeah, it's definitely under 2 acres. I know that. I think it was like 1.8 or,
For billing purposes, I would just, did you happen to have the surveyor make sure that you could put a structure on there that would meet the setbacks?
yeah, so we placed it in there and it does meet the setbacks. on that.
15 feet setbacks, right?
75
75.
feet,
5.
The front,
75 foot from the front, 50 from the rear. Well, you'd have a large frontage because, so everywhere where that road is across there, you're 75 feet back from
okay.
the road.
But I suppose septic fields can be in that setback.
Yes, you could put
Septic
septics up
drain,
there, but you would be pumping uphill.
Yeah, right. I'm just curious if that, how well that lot works in its configuration, you know, given that you have 2 acres, half of an acre's on the east, 1.5 acres on.
Yeah, so we laid it out with the house being in the southwest corner of that property.
Sure. And does it all slope to the southwest corner?
Yes.
Who owns the land next to it? On that corner, that little spot. You guys own the, or different owner,
Lot 2.
right here, lot 2, beside it.
I think it was just sold. I think
So
that's,
it's not, nothing with you guys.
No.
Kind of a non-used
It is.
piece,
It is.
chicken coop, maybe.
I think it's, yeah, I think
Forest,
Good.
prairie,
Is it
prairie.
Yeah,
trees
prairie
right
grass.
now?
I do like prairie grass. It's farmed right now.
Food plot for
Yeah.
the pheasants.
So it looks
Yeah.
like 0.7 or whatever it is. Yeah, 0.76 of a road traction.
Well, I like the project. I was just a little concerned of how buildable that piece gets with the terrain that's there and the road and the septic field and like you said, setbacks, meeting setbacks.
won't be the most desirable, but I mean, it is.
No.
And by making it a little larger, maybe it helps it a little bit, but
That road's a private road or what is that?
No, that's all
That's
34.
all
Yeah.
pretty
that's,
cool.
So how in the heck that's a poor design. They should have gave that piece to this guy.
Yeah. What's on
Non-usable,
the, what's on
non-usable
the,
land.
how much is on the east side of the road then? Do we know how big the piece is?
0.76, I think is what he said.
Oh, the road says it. Take the road out,
Yeah.
it's 0.76. So let's just say, it looks like
it looks like less than that.
40% of the whatever it is.
Not big enough to really do anything with.
Lemonade stand,
Like that.
gas station.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go.
All right.
Any other questions from anybody?
Nope, that's it.
All right. I don't think we have any further questions for you at this time.
Good.
Just for a minute, we'll call you back up.
Yeah.
Do we have anybody to speak in favor?
Yeah.
Do we have anybody to speak opposed?
I'm not opposed, but we had a question, if anyone.
Yes,
Yeah, come on up, state your name
Address, yeah.
and address, and then you can ask away.
My name is Carol Wade, 25830 Rodale 34,
How do you spell your last name?
WADE.
Okay.
We sit right next,
Because I didn't hear it, so I was just making sure. You're all good.
CAR will. We sit right next to their property. And I don't know that we favor or are against it. We wanted clarification and explanation on each of these projects. And so our question regarding these two little lots were about the septic tanks, because when we built, you had to have certain size lot in order to put up a residential house there. And I heard you just say it is the correct size. So what is the correct size? Or does the house have to be small enough to have smaller septic? You know what I mean? So I had to get permits. The guy had to come out. He had to make sure the lot was big enough that it met the rules of the septic tank. So
This would be the same thing, and septic sizes are determined on like the bedroom size, the bedrooms of the house. So would it be something that you would see a 6-bedroom house being constructed on? No, probably not. But would it be something that a 3-bedroom house could be constructed on with a septic to meet that? And they have made far advances in septics, so I guess I couldn't even rule out a 6-bedroom house because I could put a pre-treatment filter on it and meet the state guidelines for septic systems.
and that was the second part, and so maybe that you just answered it, but then what we're concerned about is then affects, because we'll be close, but we'll be right next to it.
Runoff, get down to your house, right?
Huh?
The runoff, all this. sewer.
That's why I'm,
Yeah,
yeah, you know, if there's problems with the septic tank, how far away from you do you gotta be from us that it doesn't cause problems? Is there rules on that too?
There is, so it's 100 foot from your well, from any well on the property or neighboring properties, 100 feet from those. It's 10 feet from your property lines.
And someone checks all that out before
do.
they,
We inspect every part of the septic system installation and we map it out, hold it into the county records.
And those are based on today's standards, regulations.
Correct.
Because they change periodically. So when you might have built it, it's probably changed 3 or 4 times.
okay, okay. How often then the periodic, do you have like a set every 10 years? Is there a statement how often those rules change that he's discussing?
That's just whenever the state legislature.
When they feel like it, okay. And then I don't know if that's a question for me to know, or you to us to ask him, or you to ask him, but when they're going to build like that, do they tell us that I bought this property, but I may not be using it for 10 years, or do we know when it's coming, or how does the neighborhood be affected by that?
That would just be something that in neighborly conversations, because we could divide these lots up like this right now. They very well may not be built on for 10 years, 20 years. They could be built on in 3 weeks.
That's what I wanted to know.
So,
Okay, so ask them.
Building permits get issued before any of those things happen, and you can see online the building permits that are issued for the county.
See somebody's marking stakes out
Yeah,
there.
then I got a hint, which we haven't seen that, but, and like I say, they've been very, neighborly so far, but we have to look at how that's gonna affect our neighborhood and our property.
Unless they're moving into mobile homes.
Well, there you go. But anyway, and then also, since he said 2 lots, can they change that? Because I know there's land also that supposedly they own around us, and maybe again, that's a question for them. So right now, they're only asking for approval for 2 dwellings, correct? That they can't put in a neighborhood, in other words.
That's correct. There is another residual lot left out there, a larger lot that has enough road frontage out there that in the future, and whether, whoever were to take it up, you could put an interior road in there from that, and you could subdivide it up like what was previously shown from the other applicant that was up here that's doing a similar subdivision like that. So could a rural subdivision go in out there? Yes, it could. But that's not what's being asked of tonight. And it would go through the same public hearing process as what is happening now.
And they would let us know, and we could come speak
Yeah.
again and
Yep.
talk about it. Okay.
Right.
Okay. That's it for this one for me, unless you wanna, do I have to answer questions, or I'm done?
Anybody got any questions for her?
All right,
Nope.
all right.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, anybody else opposed? All right,
Well, and I said I don't necessarily want to be called opposed. We are trying to be
Yeah.
neighborly and be informed.
it's fine.
All right.
We won't put you in that
All
classification.
right, don't put me in a.
All right, then, the applicant has an opportunity to come back up and give a closing statement if you'd like. You don't have to. Okay. All right, then I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
And I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public hearing is closed and ask for staff recommendation.
It meets the requirements of the ordinance, so our recommendation would be to send a recommendation of approval up to the Board of Supervisors on the replat.
Okay. Is there any further discussion from the
Nope.
board? Any other questions,
Make a motion to
concerns?
approve as is.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve as is,
Second.
and we have a second. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Schultz,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Stokeworth,
Yes.
Leaders.
Yes. Okay, so motion carries. All right, now, and then you will move on to the Board of Supervisors. So then we'll do case number CMA 2026-01 for CNA scales. Have a motion to open public hearing?
Make a motion to open public hearing.
And do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the public hearing is open and we have the same gentleman back up front.
Okay, so, we're proposing here the 3 existing buildings to plot those off in its own roughly 5-acre lot, and rezone it to commercial, to move our headquarters of CNA Scales there. So a little background on CNA Scales. We have 2 locations currently. One's in Minden, that is our manufacturing shop. And then our other one is just north of Crescent, actually Honey Creek. And that's our headquarters and our warehouse that we've outgrown that facility, and we'll be closing that one and hope to move to this new proposed location.
So these are trucking scales that you make, or what is it?
Yeah, we make all types of scales. A lot of them are hopper scales that we load rail cars with, ships, containers.
Okay.
And then we also go testing scales, kind of like you'd see on the interstate or co-ops truck.
So you make the,
Yes,
Make-
we make them in.
not like a little weigh station.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that's it.
So how many trucks go in and out of this facility in the course of a day or a week or?
So it's just our employees only. So we'll have roughly 9 employees that report to that office. And they get their service truck and their tools, and then they go out on the road and do their jobs and come back. So it's not a storefront by any means. There's no
No retail
no
sale?
retail sales out of there, anything of that sort.
But when they ship them out, right, you'll ship it out of that facility?
No, not out of that facility.
It's just that like admin office, right?
Yeah, admin office and storage warehouse. Our Minden facility, yes, we do manufacture there and ship out there. And then we also buy scales from other companies and they ship direct and we go install them. So,
Okay.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Oh, hang
Okay. sorry.
on. I think that's it from you.
okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Anybody want to come up and speak in favor? Anybody just want to come up and speak?
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to ask for that other.
And again, mine's
Group of
probably gonna be
people.
more like a discussion where
All
you
right.
guys answering you. And she got some of the questions answered, but I'm gonna read it
All
anyway.
right, and I'm assuming your name's still the same.
Carol
still
Lane,
W.A.C.E.?
25830 Road, L34.
Very good.
Yes, and our property still sits next to theirs.
Very good.
All right. And let me start with, currently, we have no issues with them as neighbors. So far, they've been very quiet, non-intrusive, and pleasant to be near. However, we're concerned about it being rezoned as commercial. What we would like to know is what happens if the property is then sold? Because when we came here, the property around us was never supposedly to be sold, we were told. But looky here, it is. And so our concern is what happens if they then sell it to a different person or entity that could use it for a different purpose, and the impact that it would have on the neighbors and our surrounding property values. We have 4 areas of concern: light, traffic, noise, and water. We're concerned about how bright it's going to be around that building, what type of lighting it'll be, and if they plan to light the building. Let me back up a minute and tell you, so far, they're not lighting it at night, so it's not an issue. And we're loving them for it. If that's gonna remain the way it is, then fine and dandy. But also, we wanna make sure then, does that have to be written by you guys as part of restrictions, so that again, they can tell us they're not gonna, and then all of a sudden they do, or they sell it to somebody else, because it lights up all the way to our bedrooms of our house, and it can be seen at night at our house. And the former owners always turned off the lights at night, and it was never a problem. It hasn't been a problem with them. We want to make sure it still isn't. And we didn't know, again, if you have to put some kind of restrictions on there, or if it's just good faith. But then what if they sell, and I'm in the same boat I was in that happened with the farmer. Traffic and noise. We asked how many, like her, so she's kind of hit some of this, but I guess I didn't grasp how many exact vehicles, work vehicles. I don't care about them coming into work and that, but he said service trucks. So are these service trucks like big, or are they just little, like when the guy comes works on my water softener? Because again, the former owners didn't take, they had semis, they were farmers, they didn't, and truckers. They did not take their trucks out, being good neighbors to us till 6:30. And I'm not saying necessarily they have to live by the same rules they had, but rarely were they ever running after dark outside of harvest season. And again, we're worried about the hours of operation for those service trucks. Are they going to be in and out at a decent time? Is there going to be minimal amounts of volume of commercial trucks? As well as the Jake brake use, because we were used to the semi. So that gets quite loud as you have more people using L34 past our house. And then the last is the water. And we know, and again, if he's saying headquarters, I'm not sure that that is a concern. But again, can they have the choice to turn it into, instead of just headquarters, more manufacturing? Or do you guys write that in there that it's going to be headquarters only? There'll be none of, building anything or whatever. Because although we know the well and water use permits are issued by the Iowa DNR, we're concerned about water use in a commercial setting and how it will affect the neighbors' existing wells. Can zoning restrict that, is what I guess we're asking. We're concerned about if it ever expands or changes hands or uses. Can they use more water, and how will this impact our community? We would also like to know about treatment of any wastewater, and if it's only what they're saying is headquarters. But again, do you write in there so that it stays in office and you're not going to be, using it for other purposes? So in conclusion, we're asking, can restrictions be put on the property if you do allow the rezoning? And if the property does change hands in the future, does that nullify those restrictions? And I'm back here again, or can they change them or do what they want if they sell it to somebody else? That's it. A lot, but answer.
Okay.
That's a man.
You gonna stick around for the answers? You want to
Oh,
sit
you
back?
bet I am.
So on the lighting of the building, that would be on a complaint basis aspect of it. It actually, for what she's talking about, that part of it, would help her case out on it being a commercial property because we would have more say in saying when they come in for lighting, you know, we're gonna make sure it's downcast, we're gonna make sure that projects onto the property right now. The lights on the front of the building have, they've been on, they're not, for me, I mean, she's talking more of the backside of it, the front side of it, I don't see it as a nuisance.
So it actually is more restrictive to move to commercial than to leave it as ag.
Yes,
For the lighting.
definitely.
That's what I thought.
On the traffic wise of it, this is less traffic than what the previous use of the buildings was for. And I would say the same for the water usage as well. This is probably less water usage than what was previously being utilized on the property. For the rezoning and the concern of, well, it's going to commercial, what can happen? And what you brought up was the exact recommendation that we have for it is that it's a conditional rezoning, amounting to that it would be for their headquarters. If it were to try to change to something else, those people would have to come in to us and try it again to change it into that use. So it's not just a carte blanche, you have C2 zoning, it's free for all now with all those different uses that are out there. And so it does fit within allowing them to have their headquarters piece of it there. But if the occupancy of it were to change, they would be back in front of the planning commission, back for the board of supervisors asking.
For a conditional use permit.
Potentially not a conditional use permit, but it would be to add on to their conditions for the rezoning.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay.
And what about, you forgot my one, if they, not that they're, I'm telling them doing, but I trust nobody, if they sell it to somebody else.
That's what I said. That's what I just ended with.
Then no one can change it, and they're
Those
locked
people-
into what they signed.
That's right. That runs with the property. So
Okay,
they can sell it, they can do whatever they want with it, but the zoning and the conditions on it run with the property.
not the owner.
If the new owners decided that they wanted to do something different, or they decide they want to do something different, they have to come back into us and try to go back to the planning commission, back to the board of supervisors to add to their conditions of what were already set.
And again, I would be notified, are we,
Correct. Because
okay.
public hearing process again, all the way around.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I think we got all her questions answered. And anybody else want to speak? Would the applicant like to come back up and give a final closing statement? Okay. I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing.
Second. And we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And now, oh, thanks, Justin. Keep forgetting you're there. You're so quiet. All right, then I'd ask for staff recommendation.
There's 3 points that I want to make sure that we get into the record on this rezoning for us of the property, and to make sure that I note to you that this is for a conditional rezoning to C2, Section H, which is the business of professional offices of that. Okay. Now, when we look at that internally from the office, we'd have to say, you know, is this consistent with county policy? And currently the property is zoned Les Hills A4. And I would say yes, that it is. The Les Hills does have a commercial overlay district that resides within it. The rationale behind those things is you have to look at the access to the property. It has access from L34. It's full depth paved road with interstate access. Available directly to L34. Yes, it's a little ways up, you know, a couple miles up the road from there, but there is direct interstate access that comes back and forth. And we do get interstate traffic that comes down that road. It is in a platted development area. It has been since they created the first Wonder Ridge area. So we're not just plucking a section out of a 40 and saying that we should be able to do this part of it. And the third part of it is there a public benefit that goes along with this? Because we know that there's a personal benefit with it. There's always a personal benefit for the property owners that come with this, but we have to look at what the public benefit of it is. And there is an economic development factor that goes with that. There's a growth in tax base on there. And that comes along with, we already have the hard surface roads. We've already made that initial investment in the infrastructure to it with the interstate access. And this is not historically, the C2 designation is not new to this area. So directly across the street from that, the old Hazeldale Town Hall, was zone C2 up until we figure around somewhere around 2012, when it was combined with the homestead that is on that side of the road. So it's not necessarily, this isn't something necessarily new to the area. And to further it, we were, as the county looks at these things, and this is something that the state of Iowa has done to us with their ag exemption rules that they have out there, right? You had a large farm operation up there. So large that realistically, when you looked at it, it was a commercial operation. And they were running a commercial trucking industry out of that business, not just a farming and trucking business out of there. But they were able to do so under the guise of an ag exemption. So these buildings were constructed, they were put into this place, that farming operation goes under. Now, I mean, it's not only, now we're a community, now even as a community, we're left with what can be best used for these buildings. You know, they went up for sale, the agricultural community had an opportunity to come in there, buy these things and continue it as that. But you could just tell by the scope of the operation, it's not gonna fit in with your normal farms, right? You'd have to be a really big farmer to come in there and be able to do something and make that work for you. So I think we're lucky at this point, being able to have an industry like CNA Scales that's minimal impact to the area that's up there. But in order to make it fit within the guidelines of the zoning ordinance, the zoning change needs to happen for the property. And, I lived up there since October, directly across the street from them. And, you barely notice that they're over there, for traffic wise of what's going on noise wise. I mean, I've been around the entire time. You hear their semi roll out. It's not even a semi pulling a trailer. It's a little semi with a back end of it. I mean, they fire up and roll out of there, and the other ones are just pickups. So it's no different than, I mean, on the weekend, that traffic is much more of a disturbance than what these guys are. So I think it's a good fit for the area.
Okay.
Less than what a farm operation would be for sure,
Yeah.
in my opinion, but. Okay, so that's staff recommendation. Does anybody have any concerns, comments?
The recommendation to approve as is.
With all of Matt's, information attached?
Yep.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second it.
We have a second by Justin. Roll call, please.
Chapman,
Yes.
Leaders,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yeah.
Silkworth,
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries, and this will be moved forward to the Board of Supervisors, so.
And we'll
Thank you
let
very
you know
much.
when that meeting date is.
Thank you.
All right, one last one here. I'll entertain a motion to open sub 2026-06 Carrie Lippincott. Do we have a motion? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Right.
very
Hello,
good.
friends.
Please state your name and
I'm
address.
Todd Cook with Nick Hillman, The Bluffs, representing Carrie Lippincott for Honeysuckle Properties. It's a
And your
mini-
address?
My address is 411 South 9th Street, commercial of Nixtone.
Thank you
We
very
have
much.
a subdivision for Schultz subdivision, preliminary plat, scheduled for minor sub, be 4 lots. First 3 lots would be approximately 10 acres, one is 11 acres, and the final north plot would be 29 acres. Schultz Enterprises actually is the buyer, and his personal property would be on lot 4. Lot 3 would be his family's future property, and lot 1 and 2 would be open for sale. We've taken recommendations from Wilkie Surveying and Pam here at the county to have 2 separate entrances or driveways. One to be on the west side, 50 foot, and one to be on the east side, 50 foot, giving access. Lot 4 and lot 2 will be the owners of the property, with lot 3 having access from 4 and lot 1 having access from 2.
Okay. Covenants?
No covenants.
No covenants?
At this time, it's all minimal county regulations.
Okay. And this will all be well and septic?
Well and septic, yeah.
Okay. And then what's the road structure gonna be?
Looks like we're probably gonna be a rock.
Rock road?
Yeah.
Rock driveways.
Driveways, yes.
Driveways,
I've been
okay.
corrected by Pam. That is not a road.
It's not a road, okay, just checking that.
And the only access to a public road is the Honeysuckle Road.
Correct.
Which is by Tuminous, right?
Yes.
That's why we're able to do this now?
Correct.
Okay.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'd
don't-
say,
It was nice to actually see Dean go out there and make a recommendation to change our first initial structure. I mean, it's gonna be a little more driveway work for Schultz, but it looks a lot better than what we initially had,
is
so.
that gonna be, that's not gonna be very steep of a driveway.
We do have a terrace to take out, so that 1 and 2 lot will be a little bit steep.
Yeah.
But Schultz Enterprises is the owner, so he'll make it good on it.
So imagine that. Okay, anybody got any further questions for Todd?
nope.
Okay, thank you. All right, doesn't look like there's anybody here, but anybody speak in favor?
I did.
Anybody opposed? Anybody just want to speak? They're all gone. Those people are gone.
Make a recommendation to close public hearing.
Okay, we got a motion to close public hearing. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Public hearing is closed. And Matt, what's the staff recommendation on this?
They've met the minimum criteria for the minor subdivisions, so it would be a recommendation, to send forward a recommendation of approval to the Board of Supervisors for this minor subdivision. I think that's probably gonna end up being the best that we get out of this property. We had few different people look at it, trying and thinking about potentially major subdivisions in that area. There is water there, but they would have to upgrade 205th Street and Honeysuckle to a full depth asphalt road in order to be able to get to it. Kind of size and shape of surrounding properties really don't allow for it, so I think these larger 4-lot subdivisions will be a better fit.
Seems like it. Okay,
Make a recommendation to approve as recommended.
do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and we have a second. Roll call, please.
Leaders,
Yes.
Silkworth,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Schultz.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Motion carries. And you will be moving forward to the Board of Supervisors also. Thank you for coming in. All right,
Yep, thanks, Peter.
any new or old business, Matt, that we need to do?
No other business for tonight?
No other
How's
business?
the calendar looking for the year?
I don't know if we have anything for next month or not. Not yet.
Is it slowing down,
Got a
picking
lot
up,
put in for this month.
staying the same?
Permitting wise or?
Just busyness. Are you busy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, things have been going really well. Interest rates really haven't scared people off. I mean, I think one of the best examples of what you all have been able to pitch in and accomplish with is if you're going out Highway 92, Bob Ming's Stony Brook subdivision, where we approved that. There's 5-6 houses going up right now.
Yeah.
Each of them I'd say is probably $1 million or more
Yeah,
in valuation.
it's impressive.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when you're coming back into Council Bluffs from that way and you see the scope of the building that's going on up there, I mean, it's pretty amazing to see. I would imagine, well, I mean, depending, I guess, you could say tonight, depending upon what happens tonight with Council Bluffs, we could get busier with,
Oh, in the county?
with
I
things
get you.
over on our side.
They're out of room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, do we have a motion to close?
Motion to close.
Motion to adjourn, second.
Aye.
All in favor, aye. Thank you. Thanks,